everyone, and welcome back to my channel where I challenge myself to make something I've never made before every week. As you can probably tell, I'm trying out something a little different here, so from now on, I'll be releasing 2 videos every week. One is the one that you're watching right now, which will have my voiceover commentary on my experience of how things went that week. And the other one will be the more chill, relaxed, no voiceover version. So if you prefer that, I'll link it in the description down below. Okay, I think this intro's gone on for long enough. So without further ado, this week I'm making Nikuman, so let's just get started. So I'll start off by making the Nikuman dough. I don't actually recommend using store-bought dough for this recipe because we want the dough to rise when we steam it, and store-bought dough just doesn't do that. And if I was gonna be honest, I actually prefer making my own dough for dumplings anyways, because I think that it's a lot of fun. After adding all the dry ingredients to the bowl, I'll mix them together while streaming in the water. I actually had to use more water than the recipe said, but basically I just added enough water until I couldn't see like the dry flour spots at the bottom of the bowl. And then I'll just use my hands and bring the dough together into a ball. I'll turn out the dough ball onto a well-floured work surface and start what is inarguably the best part of dough making, kneading. In fact, I'm not really sure why people don't like kneading. Like things like no-knead breads exist, which doesn't make any sense because kneading is simultaneously a workout but also relaxing. And when you watch the dough in your hands turn smooth right before your very eyes, like you really feel like you've made something with all of that hard work. Anyways, we'll let this dough ball rise at room temperature until it's doubled in size, probably about an hour. While the dough is rising, I'll get started on the filling, which starts with rehydrating some dried shiitake mushrooms. It's only really recently occurred to me that you're supposed to rehydrate these with warm water and not cold water, so don't be dumb like me and rehydrate with warm water. And then I'll chop the scallions and the cabbage. I want to point out that the recipe says to cut the cabbage into 1-inch pieces, which I did, but 1-inch pieces are huge. So if you're gonna try this recipe, I recommend going a little smaller. I'll add some salt to the cabbage and let it sit for a bit to draw out the moisture. Now that the mushrooms are rehydrated, we can squeeze out all the water. Oh gosh. And chop them into smaller pieces. Now I'll put all the filling ingredients together. I could do a bad job of showing it, but I squeezed out all the excess water out of the cabbage before I added it to the filling. Comment below if you think that grating ginger is the most boring, tedious, annoying task in the world. Ugh. Definitely make sure you add enough salt here because otherwise the filling's gonna be bland. But with a bit of patience, we're done with the filling. Whoa, would you look at that? The dough's done rising. So now I'll use my bench scraper and divide the dough into 20 equal pieces. I personally like using a scale to make sure they're actually equal, but you can probably just eyeball it. And then I'll roll all of those 20 pieces into tiny little balls. These little guys will rest for about 10 minutes. Now's the perfect time to recruit a friend, or in this case, my husband, to help you roll out the dough. Honestly, my husband's kind of better at this than me, so I just make him do it every time I make dumplings. So now I'll actually make the Nikuman. I'll try my best to explain it here, but I don't really think I'm that good at it, so take it with a grain of salt. But basically you pinch one piece between your thumb and your index finger, and then you'll use your other fingers to kind of take more pieces of dough and pinch it back into that first part. So you'll just rotate your Nikuman and keep pinching and pinching and pinching until it's fully sealed, and then you'll just kind of twist it a little bit to close it all off. Honestly, dumpling making is way more fun with friends, so if we're finally out of quarantine and we can all see our friends again, make sure to grab them for some Nikuman bonding experience. And we all get free food out of it at the end too. These will steam for about 10 minutes, but make sure you put them on their own pieces of parchment paper or else they'll stick to your steamer. Also, be careful of steam burns because they really hurt. Yay, it's time to eat! These guys came out looking so good and fluffy after they were steamed. The dough rose perfectly, no flat buns in our house. Should I rip it open? And it ended up tasting pretty good too. Mine were a little bland because I don't think I put enough salt, but it's definitely nothing a little bit of vinegar and soy sauce can't fix. My husband and I especially like the dough, which was sweet and fluffy, a good complement to the meatiness of the filling. I do kind of wish that the recipe made more Nikumans because it's kind of a lot of effort to only get 20 of these, but next time I think I'll just double the recipe. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the new video and the new format. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments down below what your favorite dumplings are. I'll see you guys at the new recipe next week. Bye!